Alright guys, so here we are. We're gonna test some broadheads today. This test is pretty much just to show you the difference between the setup that I'm going to run this year, which will be a grizzly stick with 200 grain arrow, 200 grain head on it. This is the Eclipse Werewolf 200 grain, and it's a beefy looking cool head. This is a Bone 200 grain, and it's a beefy looking head, and they're both the single bevel. This is what I ran last year. And this is a 150 head, and just on a regular 400 shaft, and so this arrow's quite a bit lighter. This is my turkey setup, and I'll show you why we don't shoot those into bone. So we got our scale, and I got it at grains. Okay, so we're at 0 grain there. Now we're gonna start with this arrow. This is the arrow that I found my son, pretty close to the arrow I found my son using it. He was a little bit heavier, but he was about 8 grains per inch, and that's what this arrow is running, is about 8 grains per inch. Yeah, this is 8 grains per inch. So check that out. 382 grains. That's what he was running. Okay, so now this is the arrow that I was running. All except for this one doesn't have. So add 100 grains to this, because this one doesn't have the 100 grain insert. So that's in the room. I'm kind of trying to save those arrows. Whoops. Need to calibrate it again. Turn it on. Calibrate it. Okay, so this one, now add 100 grains to that, because that one doesn't have the 100 grain insert. I'm trying to keep those arrows alive in case I need to go back, you know, in case I need to have some extra arrows or something. Show them how far forward that arrow is. So that's 650, 660, somewhere there. But look at how much I have to set it on there a certain way, because that's 29% FOC. Now you notice with this one, look at this arrow. This arrow is about exactly the same. and so I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna tape this to my ballistic gel. I'm going to shoot it at 10 yards because I want to make sure that I hit the spots so we can kind of do a comparative test. Alright, I'm going to go run and grab it. Tan packets. About an hour later. Are you getting tired of this?
Already, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just started.
Yeah. Here we go. We have the ballistic gel with the heart in there, and it takes a lot of ballistic gel, you guys. So I found that out yesterday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this up there, and I'm just going to, with the trad bow and what I'm doing today, I'm just going to tape that right onto here. What do you think, Jason? Am I crazy?
A little bit.
We're going to shoot it right there. Alright. This is the light arrow that and the head Gage was shooting last year. go see what it did. Go ahead and take a look at that. So we did get full penetration through the bone. It did kill the heart, and just came out the other side and just barely into the bag there. Thing that I want to point out though is the 3-blade did leave a very good, you see that wound channel in there? I don't know if you could see it on, but it is a good wound channel in it. It went all the way through. So the next arrow is going to be what I was shooting last year. The only problem here is I'm lacking about 100 grains. Oh, I skipped off of it. Let's go take a look at that wound channel in the gel though. Here's I hit just a little bit off and skipped it through, and I hit the gel up on top. Made a heck of a wound channel. My arrow's got a lot of room in there, so those 4 blades make that wound channel, but let me go back and I got to shoot it right through the same spot as I shot that 3-blade. Attempt number 2, it's still sharp, I had to check it. Oh, look at there. We may have to take another scalp. It did bust the scapula, but look at what happened behind it. So it busted her, but it didn't get through it. That 4-blade, now if it was a 2-blade, I got a feeling it would have made her all the way through. But that 4-blade did not make it, I mean, it just lodged it right in there. Next one's the Rage Expandable. So what happens, it hit right here and bounced across and went underneath and popped it up. It did cut a little bit in there. I don't know what the expandable itself did. So it did go through and hit the target afterwards, but it glanced off, and I think it's because of the way that the tip is. So on a reel, I don't know if that would have actually, yeah, probably would have done that, but so it did bounce off. Okay, next up is Ye Old Werewolf 200 grain grizzly stick. It was the 650 grain. Did penetrate all the way through. It busted the bone as it went through. I didn't get good arrow flight because I'm saving my 400. This is a 320, so this one's a little bit heavier than what I'm normally shooting. So I would have got even better penetration, but if you see, you can see how the wound channel went through there. So it's tapered arrow, so once it hits, I'm going to scoot this back and we'll see how far we went into the target after we went through. Well, about another, what, 3-4 inches? 3 inches, 4 inches? Yeah, going through bones, the heavy arrow with the single bevel is the way to go. That grizzly stick and that werewolf just, I mean, my goodness, it went on another 3 inches past that. It not only did it slice it, so you have the wound channel is right here, and then all the ribs, see how it busted it off? And it busted it off. Some of that was from a shot before, but that's pretty cool how that did that. I'm going to shoot the 400 this time because it shoots a lot straighter. All right. So this is the 400 spined arrow. My other arrow was 320 spine, and I didn't want to wreck my arrows, but I think it's going to take a lot more bone than this to wreck one of these arrows. So I'm going to shoot this guy. Now when we go to arrow and broadhead, when I shoot them in cinder blocks, I am not going to shoot my good arrows into it. All right, let's give it a shot. All right, so we did hit it lower on the scapula there. So proper arrow flight is what I got out of this arrow. That's why I think it penetrated better. If you look at this, it just busted. I mean, it tore it up. And we only have, so just think if this was an elk and you just took, that scapula is smaller on an elk than it is on this. This is a cow. So just think if you hit that thing and you had that much penetration, you just killed that elk going right. And I don't, I don't say shoot for bone, but I am kind of beginning to think that this 650 grain setup, that's out of a bow that's shooting like, I bet you I'm only shooting 160, 150. So look how far this went in. Let's go ahead and come back. And again, that grizzly stick's tapered, so it's easy to do. And look at how far in we are. So we hit, and then we went another, what would you say? 8 inches?
Yeah. 7 or 8.
Yep. Pretty interesting on the difference between my arrow weights. Now, the next video I'm going to do is the difference between broadheads. We still have some Winslow's to shoot. We can already tell some of the differences. I probably won't shoot in that next test. I'm probably not going to shoot the expandables, guys. I'm not going to shoot an expandable on the next test. Yeah, I know it was a glancing blow, but I'm not going to shoot it. So, stay tuned. If you like this stuff, subscribe down here. There's going to be so much more bare bow stuff and so much more bow hunting stuff on here. Subscribe down below. Leave me some likes. Leave me some comments, some questions. What did you think of the test? What do you want to see? We want to bring this stuff to you guys. So please, 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 please. It helps us out a bunch if you subscribe. So if you're just watching this and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Next thing, go over to Bare Bow Hunters. Go over to... we have a new group, the Life Outdoors. Go over to the Life Outdoors and on Facebook and go in there and we'll let you in, and there's all sorts of stuff going on in there. All right, till then, take it easy. Thanks, guys.